Hello, my little squirrels. I would like to inform you that what you are about to listen to are our views and comments from the host. Guests only reflect their own view and not the community as a whole. Not all those squirrels out there, I mean. I hope you enjoy the podcast and Eddie play that banter section. Whoop whoop!
Charlotte,
Yeah.
how's your grated cheese?
Oh, it's really good actually. It's just arrived. I've got fajitas, 2 pita breads, and some cheese to go on it. Beautifully grated by me.
Is there any for me and Nell?
Yep, it's not spicy.
Oh, excellent. Now
By pigeon.
By pigeon.
Well, owls are expensive. It's Christmas.
Is it at least wrapped?
Yeah, I'm not an animal. It is wrapped. It's wrapped in a second pigeon.
So it's hang on. So it's carried by a pigeon wrapped around a pigeon.
Imagine a pigeon carrying another pigeon whose wings are tightly clutched around some grated cheese, a piece of bread, and some fajita.
Is it just like bound in mozzarella cheese strings, or?
No, it's just freehand. But I trust the pigeon. He told me his name was Reliable Pete, and that was good enough for me.
Charlotte, do you need to seek help?
Oh, it's January fucking 3rd, Eddie.
Thanks for giving the game away. Hello everybody, this is the Ed Talks About podcast, our weekly podcast talking about cosplay, Comic-Con and everything else. I'm your host Eddie, and this week we are talking about, is social media ruining us? Probably is, probably isn't, I don't know. That's why we're going to talk about it. Joining us on the podcast is Charlotte from Charlotte Woolrich Photography / cosplay / media mogul / eating a tortilla thing. And we have Nell from Sugar Fox.
Hello.
Hello.
If you're wondering why I went Sugar Fox, because we spent about 5 minutes trying to explain to Charlotte how to spell sugar, but it's with an H, not an R, but she somehow heard 2 A's.
Yeah. I did repeatedly ask him just to spell it out loud. At no point did Eddie do that. And then he, for some reason, thought it would be easier to go and find a link and send it to me rather than just say SUGAH, which is all I needed.
But that would have been simple.
Exactly, that would have been simple, but I don't do things by halves, do I?
I appreciate it.
Just to let our listeners know, this is the first podcast I've recorded in 2023. I've not recorded anything for about a month or so I feel really rusty at the moment. Just now thinking, how do I do my intros? I can't even remember how to do those anymore. So yeah, that's been a thing. But anyway, Charlotte's been on the podcast many times. She's currently eating a pigeon. Was it pigeon?
Yeah, pigeon fajita.
Yeah, fajita. Yes. But now you've never been on the podcast before, so
I have not. It's a travesty.
Look, I generally, this is no joke. This is not even a bit for the pod. I generally thought that you didn't want to be on it. So I'm like, oh, okay then, fine. And so when you responded, said, I'll be on it. Oh, that's new. Okay, all right. But I want to ask you a question very quickly before we get into it. Mm-hmm. As your first time on the podcast, where does Sugar Fox come from? I've got to stop saying sugar. Sugar Fox come from? Where did you come for that name?
Well, it's mainly like my first name was Foxy Bop Cosplay. I always get called Fox because of the hair, and I used to have white highlights in it. And then Rogue, everyone says, is always my most noticeable and recognizable cosplay. And she always refers to everyone as Sugar. But she says it with a H, not an R.
That's
Sugar!
That's really cute.
Sorry, I now never look at Rogue now. Ever a Sugar. Hey, Sugar. It's going, Sugar!
It's going to sound like a chicken, okay.
Yep. Oh, God. So the guy that does my, who has decided to do the quotes, he's I know he's going to put a chick on it now. Fucking hell. Anyway, let's get over. Oh God, great start to the new year. Anyway, I want to do a podcast about social media. I don't know if I've done one before or not, but I don't know. I think I aimed that way a bit too much about the usage of it. This is about more like social media. Does it affect our mental health type of thing and things? Because I'm certainly noticing how I'm using social media differently now, especially with everything that's now like hitting the fan, especially like with Twitter, especially. But like over the months and maybe the years, like my experience of using social media has changed, and I just wondered if it's the same for anyone else. So we'll probably still cross some same subject topics that I said in the other one if I have done one before, but hopefully we'll also say something different about it as well. So join my guests Charlotte and Elle, and we're talking about social media. So I'll do you know what I'll start with now. Get ready.
Okay.
You got this. What social medias have you got, and which do you use like the most?
So currently I have Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and it's mainly Facebook and Instagram. I did have more, but I couldn't be bothered with that many. They just became too much to maintain.
Yeah.
So when there was like Cosplay Amino, when that came out, and World Cosplay, there's just too many social medias.
Oh, it really is. So you've not hopped on the social hive platform yet then?
No, I'm just looking at another social media going, I'm too old to learn this now.
Oh God, yeah, I know. So you've made a conscious effort of like actually not trying to be on too many platforms. You kind of you're sticking to the main staple ones, haven't you?
Yeah, it's where you get the most sort of engagement anyway.
Yes, indeed. Charlotte, what about yourself? What what do you use, and what do you use the most?
So I use Instagram the most, both photography and cosplay, because it's kind of like a creative mood board as well. And I know a lot of photographers find that. And then TikTok's my second biggest. Well, no, TikTok's my biggest for cosplay, but I use it probably the second most. Facebook, this year I need to use more because I know a lot of photographers use it very effectively, but less so for cosplay. And then I do have a Twitter, but I kind of just occasionally remember it and post something, but I normally use that just to look at memes. So
I probably make you use Twitter more
yeah,
when I tag you in things.
Yeah. Pretty much. I get a notification. I'm like, oh, that's fun. Twitter exists. How wonderful.
How did this get here? I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm like, there's a little blue fluttery bird. Beautiful. And then I remember that Twitter's a shithole and everything's on fire. And then I feel happy.
Wow, fucking hell.
Oh, and I also, if it's relevant, work in social media professionally. So.
Oh, do you now? Oh, okay.
Which is a bit of a different thing, but yeah. So I do spend literally all day, every day on social media.
Oh, so you get paid just to like doom scroll then?
I get paid to make stuff to post. Sadly, social media marketing, it is actually quite fun. If I didn't do it for a medical company, where if you get something wrong, people die. So. No pressure.
What you should do is sign up to like a high subscription service. Change your name to a rival company. Say you're going to give away that medicine for free and tank their prices.
Oh, interesting. I mean, that's not how it works at all. But thanks for the tips. I will pass it on.
No. Oh, have you not heard that actually happened?
Oh, really?
The Twitter check mark, wasn't it? People can just pay for it to make it look real.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
that's
so
funny, actually.
That I can't remember what I think it was like free penicillin.
Hang on, I do know because
it was insulin
because that's my field.
Yeah. Oh, insulin, yeah.
Millie, I believe, who are an insulin. Yeah, and I saw them the week after at a trade show, and they looked genuinely depressed. And I do mean that. Everyone at their stall looks actually quite like sad. But yes, no, this is true.
Oh wow! I think I should probably answer myself. I try to stick with the main ones, but also pick up some of the outer fringes ones. So I do have, like everything else, I've got an Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I now have TikTok.
Your TikToks are good.
Oh, thank you very much. I like the Top Gun one.
Yeah, the top one's really good.
If you haven't quite gathered now, it's between me and Charlotte.
Yeah.
I created a video of that, but also I've got a website as well. I don't know if you can call that like a social media of sorts, but I've joined Hive as well. I haven't joined Mastodon because I think I looked into it once and I got very confused how it all works. I maybe got confused with something else. I've also got Vero as well, but I just don't like. I think the same with Nell. There's so many out there now, and it's very hard to like keep up with all of them because like right now I'm actually trying to share a photo from Twitter to Hive because there's no automation I can do for it, so I have to do it manually.
Oh, yeah.
And I've gotten into a routine of doing it, and it's just too. But that I think Nell's right. There's just so many out there. I just can't keep up with
Are
all
we
of them.
including,
So
sorry, quickly, Pinterest as a social media?
yeah, that's social media if you call that.
I reckon I've got that, but it's more a photographer thing as well.
Yeah. And like, yeah, it's just very hard to keep up, especially because you don't want to be left out on the bandwagon if everyone starts going, oh, I've heard about this one. I don't want to be left behind. Especially if I don't expect anyone to steal the name Food and Cosplay because I mean, if anyone does steal the name Food and Cosplay, God, be on your own head. You've dug your own grave. But yeah, it's like I don't. Just in case something comes out of it,
You just
sorry. Someone just wrote something in the chat, and then they wrote in, "It be me."
It'll be me. Sorry, I had to.
And if you haven't guessed who that was Charlotte. But yeah, I personally worry about missing out. Like this whole FOMO thing about my personality that I've just recently discovered. You know, I don't want to be left behind when it comes to new social medias because I feel like I've missed out on TikTok like by a huge margin. So yeah,
it's also and protecting a brand as well. Because if someone ends up impersonating you and doing some shady stuff, it's going to blow back on you.
It sounds like you're talking from experience.
No, I've just seen a lot of people had their accounts cloned and started having OnlyFans posted all over it, and that's gotten them in trouble with their careers. And
yeah, I've seen that as well, and you know, you just got to shut those down as quickly as possible. And it's good that actually, social medias do try to like help out and assist as much as they can, but sometimes they just are quite shit and they go, we will just take our times and just do nothing. But alas, we're not just talking about that. We've got other things to talk about. So Charlotte, I'll start with you on this one. What do you use your social media for mainly?
Mainly I use my social media for, on the photography side, I find much easier because I use it to either post my portfolio, like the good stuff I want people to see and hire me because of, or like scrolling through. So my photography account, I tend to mainly follow photographers so I can like see other people's work, be inspired, you know, kind of like a big mood board of excitement. And then I'm trying to do more like tutorials as well. So that feels much more clear cut to me because it's kind of like teaching as well as like just sharing something I make. The cosplay side I find much stranger. Like it's always been weird because I guess I'm just saying, look at me, I made something pretty, but like repeatedly. So yeah, it's like sharing stuff I make, sharing, you know, stuff I sew, progress stuff, but it is much more of like a how can I almost turn this into a business, I'd say, as well. But it's a business where you're kind of like trying to sell you instead of selling like a product or a service. So it's very odd.
Yeah, because I'm gonna guess that we all have full-time jobs on top of this hobby that we call it. None of us are doing this full time. This either like being a model, being a cosplayer, being a photographer. We're all doing this as a side gig.
Yeah.
But
so for me, it's just kind of posting all these photos of cosplay, and mine has sort of evolved from about 7 years ago when I started of just posting little bits of videos and crafting and all that sort of thing, because no one was barely interested in that. But they were interested in the photos of me, so it just became photos of me in the end. And it feels like the most narcissistic thing in the world that I am basically posting a photo of myself every day. And that is mainly what I use it for on that side. And the other side is just sort of shit posting memes.
Incredible. How could I forget about the shit posting memes?
Yeah. How could you?
How could I? I love memes.
How could
I
you?
love memes.
It's weird because I try to think of my pages as quite business professional orientated. So I try to stick to a kind of like a singular thought that it's either going to be this or that. I try not to be no. Every so often I try to make it personal by going, "Hey, I've just gone for a run," or "I've done a big poo," type of thing. It's like,
Yeah.
but I feel like no one cares about that. So I always revert back to sharing cosplay photos or the photos I've done, or share a like an idea. Let's say I want people to like share more photos. I'll just say, "Hey, what's your latest project?" or take a picture of your favorite selfie you've done, or the latest mirror shot, things like that. So I do things like that. Or I might add something else to that one of these days. I go, oh, share your favorite Genshin Impact cosplay you've done, and blah 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 type of thing. But I just, yeah, I don't know if I use it to try to network with other people as well, which is probably a question I'll be asking later anyway. But I try to like use it to like. I tend to use it mainly just to show, like Charlotte was saying, just show the world my work, because I'm like, I'm proud of this, I'm happy with this. Until you see someone retweets it like 5 years ago and you go, oh dear God, that's a horrible photo. How the fuck? How shit? I was bad then. If I thought I was good then, I must be amazing now. But anyway, but enough about that. But it's just like, oh God. Anyway, as I was saying, it's like I try to like keep it as professional as I can, and then use it to network. But mainly, it's just to share photos out. I mean, is that what really we could only do with these social media pages?
I guess it's more like the education side's
Oh, yeah.
something you can do, which is like, I mean, ideally, and I know it's almost like a bad thing to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. If I could make money out of my out of my hobbies, I'd be a very happy woman. So like, like trying to build up people on Twitch, all of that, but I'd like to do it educating personally, because
Yeah.
that's like part of the photography brand. I think a lot of people forget that it's not just doing photography. You can then like educating other photographers if they like your style is a massive part of it. And I've found a lot of my posts that have done the best on certainly like Instagram or off my website have been ones where it's specifically like, look how I do this. So I think that's quite a good angle, but then that's not really something I can bring into cosplay, because there's nothing I do in cosplay that's niche apart from lazy and doesn't wear wigs, which isn't really something you can teach people. It's more of like a lifestyle. So
I'll take your word
Yeah.
for it. As the non-cosplayer in the room, I just don't know. Nels, anything you want to add to that?
I have used it for charity purposes before, because I did do the Race for Life dressed as Gem from Gem and the Holograms.
Love that.
And I was able to use my social media page to at least get a few more donations going from that. So that kind of felt like it was worthwhile, and not just me being like, hey, here are some pictures of my face.
Yeah.
Let's actually do something with the amount of people here.
Oh, yeah. I totally get that. We might have already crossed into this, so we already mentioned it, but I'll start with Nell on this one. What experience do you get from social media? And we're talking about things like, do you use it to network with other people? Do you get much use out of it? Do you feel like it does benefit you a lot? And I'm sure we're going to bring up the comment section, so if you want to bring that up now, it's up to you.
Well, it's kind of like when I first started, it was the done thing to have a cosplay page and try and get the most views that you can to start with. And it kind of became a status symbol and now I'm not that bothered by it. But back then, that was the experience I wanted. I wanted to be popular because that wasn't a thing that ever happened to me as a youngster.
Mm.
So if I could sort of like break into the nerd world and be popular, that was going to be something.
Yeah.
No, I totally like. I was going to say the word reflect that. Is that the right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Yep.
use that terminology. I totally relate. That's the word. I can totally relate that because I don't think when I was young I was ever popular. But I wasn't like bullied or anything like that. I just wasn't popular. Like people would talk to me and hang out with me, but no one would like invite me to a party or take me for drinks or anything like
Yeah.
that. I just it just rarely happened. So like yeah, I totally understand that, and like yeah. God, yeah. Anyway, you carry on talking. Now.
No, it was kind of like because when I was younger, I was very obese and I was a goth kid. So it was like two things that were not very good in a preppy school environment.
Yeah.
So going into cosplay, it was here is some validation about me through
Mm.
costumes and through these people who are viewing this page. And I don't need that anymore, but I still go for it. It's this weird little thing. Like I keep seeking validation that I don't really need anymore.
Yes, which we'll probably cover in a
Yeah.
minute. Charlotte, what about yourself?
I think it's pretty accurate to say that like just kind of that race to see like what views can I get. I want people to see what I'm doing is very valid because like I think a lot of people wouldn't make stuff if people weren't going to see it. But on the same like page, that's absolutely fine. Like if you're proud of something, you want people to see it and you want more people to see it. It's when it becomes like a, endless cycle of nothing's good enough. I think it's an issue. But like I do find social media minorly stressful in terms of like I think all of my friends now. I'm really lucky that I've got a very large group of cosplay friends, all of whom are really talented in slightly different areas. So there isn't so much competition, but there is almost like an element of we are all having the time of our lives, and we're all having like a lot of fun posting creative stuff, which is really nice as a group because it feels a lot more like look what I've done. But then there's always I think in the background that tiny bit of like, oh, but who's doing slightly better, just a little bit. But which I
Mm.
don't. It's hard because that's actually kind of what social media is built to make you want to feel. So it's not like it's anyone's fault. But it's definitely
Well,
there.
you say that. I swear when social media when it first came out, it was just to basically go, hey, look at this. Aren't I doing well? But in a non-competitive way. It was just to say, I'm doing this. Have you done the same thing? Are you experiencing the same thing?
Maybe
Things like
it's with
that.
all the
It was
analytics you mentioned earlier, like Twitter's brought them in,
yes. Oh God.
Instagram. Everyone's now a business or a professional account, so they can see their analytics. Everything is now. If you understand analytics and you're happy to read through them and like apply, if you post every day, I posted every day for about a month last year because I'm terrible at just having content on myself. And I actually saw a massive boost. And what it told me is what I should be doing is posting every day if I want that boost on social media. But I just don't have the time or content to do that. But it does at some point just become like if you can read the numbers and you can follow the analytics, then you will do better. There's just science.
Yeah, we'll talk about numbers in later, but yeah, my experience of social media, I tend to love it and then hate it at the same time. Just it is so soul destroying when you feel like I've got something to show the world, and then it seems like no one sees it, no one interacts with it, and I swear it fucks up with my mental health so badly. And I feel like I've always said social media is the best and worst thing that's ever happened to the human race. I feel like it feels like it's given people an opening to actually talk to a wider people, to show to a wider audience, things. But at the same token, it feels like everyone thinks they've got this. So I'm going to rant mode. I just realised.
I love this.
Okay.
I know. It feels like everyone now has an opinion which is at the same level as everyone else. Like, oh, I don't like such and such political icon, or I don't like pineapple on pizza, or I like my toilet roll going forward, not behind, things like that. But people also think that they have an opinion of, I like to kick babies into the sun. It's equal to that level of conversation. It's like, yes, you can have that opinion, but it doesn't mean you're right. Jesus Christ. But I mean, I just feel really despondent when I feel like, I want to like show off this picture to someone because I feel like really like it. I feel like it's really nice, stylily done. It's nice and clean, and you know, it's got sharp colours and things like that. But no one gets to see it. But yeah, if I stick a picture of my fucking face online, they go, "Oh, let's like that, let's like that." I'm like going, "It's Eddie's face." I'm going, "Oh my god, why is my face drawn more of a crowd than my actual pictures?"
Self-portraits, that's where it's at.
That's why I stopped putting selfies online now. I now put them in stories because I just I just don't I just don't know. But I try, as I said earlier, I try to use it to like network with people. But and I do try to use it to like say, oh, do you want to do a photo shoot with me? This, that, and the other. I don't get much results out of it. So I get very not like depressed, but I get very depressed about it and things like that. So yeah.
Do you think that started in the roots of these things like MySpace and Face Party when they first started? Because they all had a competitive element as well.
No, not for me. No, because I started using. So as when Food and Cosplay came about, only like Twitter and Facebook was really about. So that's where it came from. And I think again, you do look at other people's social media pages and go, I don't want to be them, but I want some of that success. Yeah. That's what early social media success, I think, said, not just to me, to a lot of other people. But now it's so competitive. It's changed so much. It changes not on a yearly or monthly basis. It changes daily.
And so much of it is luck as well.
Yeah,
it definitely is luck. I've got a friend in the fetish model world, but every so often, that's right. Every so often, she would drop me a message, or I would chat to her about it, and she would go, "Oh, the algorithm has changed." I'm going, "Not again." So it sounds like any time you catch up with the algorithm and like try to, in a sense, you find a way to beat the system then beats you. So it feels like it's such an endless pursuit of chasing the numbers that you'll never get, or the attention, or the is the accolade, is that the right word? Probably, yeah, things like that. So yeah, well, talking about numbers, so and I'll start. Who do I start with? I will start. I'll start with Charlotte on this one. I'll start with Charlotte.
It's like, what's going on? Eddie's broken.
To be fair, my screen just started like flickering. I'm going, what's going on? It's basically my Bluetooth is just turning off. It's gone to sleep. So talking about numbers. So do numbers like matter to you?
Yeah. Sorry for ruining your plans.
You ruined my joke, which was a bit now.
So you can go and.
No. You carry on with your answer.
I've kind of like unashamedly, I want more people to see what I do. I want more people to impress with what I do. I like, sharing stuff to an audience. It's nice knowing people will see stuff. Especially when it's like, as with TikTok, I find I used to, like, when I was reading the Harry Potter books, for example, I know the taboo, whatever. I used to run around my house pretending to be Ginny Weasley, and now I run around my house pretending to be Ginny Weasley, and like other people are saying, "Oh, that's really cool," and that's something that when I was younger, I was like shamefully hiding because I was like, "I'm too old for this." So there is like a nice element of like, it's nice that more people are seeing something that I feel that I used to be like, "This is shameful," or like, "This is stupid." So the numbers are kind of like a validation against the like childish nature of cosplay in a way. But and especially with photography, it is a case of the more people that follow me, or the more people that I'm just generally exposed to on both my social medias, the more people that generally could then become clients and then funnel straight into what I want to do, which is like retouching and photography as a job. So there's a very like real world impact to having lots of followers or like lots of interactions, I guess. So well, it's really easy to be like, no, numbers don't matter to me. They do, and like I want to do really well, because it's just I find it fun both doing something for myself and doing it really well. But also on the flip side, I'd say, regardless of like how big my numbers get or haven't, my content's never changed, which I'm quite proud of. I've made a conscious effort to be like, I'm just going to post whatever I feel like. And I had a conversation with my mum the other day. Whereas like a lot of people who kind of skyrocket past everyone else on TikTok and stuff share a lot of like personal information, like private life stuff, like day to day, which is not something I've ever done, but seems to be quite a fast route to like, you know, people being interested, because everyone's curious. So I'm quite pleased at how well I've done, and there's a very clear line between like what I share and then like what I don't. So yeah, I would obviously like more numbers, and that is a bit number chasing, but also it's just fun to like be part of a community as well.
Yeah, it's quite interesting about you talking about privacy, actually, because just beforehand, me and Nell were talking about privacy, weren't we? Cool. Would you like to elaborate now?
No, I thought you were going to say something profound after that. Like,
no, you're
now let's just say you've met me now. I don't say anything profound.
I mean,
but
all right, fine. Innuendo after it, maybe. I don't know.
That's more likely me, but no, I was giving you the platform for you to talk about privacy. Even though we're not talking about beforehand that we're going to talk about it now, but if you'd like to talk about it, that'd be great.
So I don't use my real name. I don't use my real location. I hide my job.
Wait, you're not in Barbados right now?
Who knows?
What, I flew out here for nothing?
You can enjoy what it has to offer. Okay, that's on you. But yeah, because I have had people try to find out about me and try to go after me in a sense of stalking. So I'm very reticent to put too much of myself online. And even now, I've moved to a new place, and I try and go have neutral backgrounds in my selfies, so no one can try and find me from the details in the background now.
Wow, that's actually quite scary.
Oh, I think, because I remember saying this on a previous podcast, which I felt like, in retrospect, I felt stupid saying that, but I said, oh, sometimes I want to know where people are from. I look at their plugs.
Oh yeah, I was on that one.
Yeah, and like, I said that out loud, and I went, oh God, does that sound like I'm stalking people? I'm just like, I use that idea to see if I can collaborate with them, because if they're in the UK, I can collaborate with them. Not I'm going to stand outside their window, stare at them, and then go, can you hand me some of that popcorn you're eating, type of thing. You know, I wasn't going like that, but it's like, I totally understand, Nell, that social media for you is such a minefield that you've got to be very, very, very careful about what you say, what you show, what you do, so that it protects your identity quite a lot. And again, it's still under the umbrella of social media, because I'm somewhat the same. I don't tell people exactly where I am in London. I don't really tell people what I do, publicly at least. And yeah, it's really, I know what you mean, but like, we were talking about this beforehand. It's like, I probably don't. I hate to use this terminology. I don't fear for my own self compared to between you two, based on my own gender. And I think that's such a sad thing to say out loud, that I'm not too afraid to tell people about my personal details just because I'm a man. Yet, as a female, I can imagine how frightening it is, because this was going to be in a different section, but it's like, when I post up these pictures online, I read the comments when they're there, and there are some really dodgy, and we'll come back to this later, because I do want to answer the original question to Nell. But it's like there's some really awful answers that I read. I'm going, what the fuck? It's like, what the hell? Anyway, let's not. We'll circle back on this idea in a minute. But anyway, now, do you? Let's go back to the original question. Do the numbers matter to you? Like, does it matter how many followers you have, how many likes you get per photo, that type of thing?
Yeah, it does massively.
Oh,
Sorry.
fuck's sake, everyone's already my joke.
We're
Eddie,
being
we'll
very
ask you
honest.
in a minute.
It's
It's
all right.
okay.
Okay.
But yeah, for me on the modeling side and whatnot, the amount of followers I have equals sponsorship opportunities or it equals creator pass opportunities. So I need to keep those levels up at a certain limit or above to get these things. So I can get free costumes out of it sometimes, or I can get free access to cons out of it, as long as those numbers stay where they are.
True.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it just the general number then of like how many followers, or do you also care about the likes per photo?
I do in a way, and I get very annoyed when I know it's probably because it's a niche fandom or something, but when a really good photo of, say, like a character, say Death from the Sandman, only gets probably a couple of hundred compared to Starlight from the Boys, which gets thousands.
Oh, wow.
That disparity kind of annoys me sometimes. Just like, this is a really good photo. Come on, guys.
I don't know if you find this, but sorry, Eddie.
No, I was going to say, if only I could get hundreds of people liking my photo. But you carry on.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if it's the same for you. I find it quite useful on the cosplay side of working out what people want to see, because like you said, if you need to grow, keep your numbers at a certain level, then knowing what people are interacting with, even though it's irritating, is if something's going downhill, you can kind of work out what to post to bring it back up. So I don't know if you've got maybe it is your Starlight, but for me, whatever I do, Alison is by far the biggest sewing project I've ever done, and it's pretty much screen accurate. And yet, if I post a picture of me in a Quidditch jumper running around as Ginny, it will get so much more stuff, just because that's what the algorithm seems to like of me. So then, I can tell that from the likes, because the Ginny photo will get hundreds of likes, and then the Alison one will get half that.
Yeah, it's kind of like you keep certain photos back so you can sprinkle them through to bring your reach back up now and then.
Yeah. Reach, yeah, what that is. Yeah, reach. God. Go on, Charlotte, ask me the question.
Eddie, do the numbers matter to you?
Oh, of course not. No.
Way.
Absolutely. I don't even know what my numbers are. Not 5,686.
He doesn't know, there you go.
No, seriously, no. I say to people, it doesn't matter to me, but I think we're all kidding ourselves if all of us really say that. I think there are genuine people who don't care. I will say that, but also think a majority of people do care. And it Nell brings up a good point about getting press pass and things like that. I don't think I would get my press passes if I had low numbers. Those numbers have effectively given me license to attend these events for free. And it never occurred to me until Nell mentioned it. I went, oh, God, yeah. I should thank all those 5,000. So if I got about 5,000 on Instagram, 1,300 on Facebook, 1,300, yeah, 1,300. 1,600 on Twitter. The others I don't give a shit about. Actually, no. TikTok. I know I'm 198 because I forgot on December 31st I was going to make a huge push to say I just need 2 more people to get it to 200. That's all I ask for this year.
For my other account.
But I mean, when I say numbers, I think, without sounding arrogant, sometimes I don't want high people just to follow me. I actually want high numbers that actually like the post, to interact with the post, to retweet it, or to share it out. That'd be really nice for that. But should I put it here? I'll say it in this section. It occurred to me earlier last year, 2020, that my page is not really how I thought my page should be. My page, I thought people would come to me and they go, "Oh, I like your style. I like this. I like that. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, he's gone to this idea. He's got that idea. She's shot here, shot there. Oh, that's cool." I kind of used it as like a business portfolio, like a business card. But I confused that with also like saying, "Hey, people should like my work at the same time." No, I think people, as I say, see it as a business. For like people like my photography page, see it as like a business card, and just looks at it and go, "Cool, he does good work." If you're going to follow an artist, you follow the artist. You don't follow. So let's say artists like Lady Gaga. You will find every photo of Lady Gaga. You're not going to go, "Oh my god, I love this picture of Lady Gaga. Who took it?" I'm going to go to their photography page and find everything they've done, either with Lady Gaga or maybe other artists, because I like their style. Most people will not do that. They will only go to the artist they are looking for. So if I shot with Charlotte, they will just come to my page and say, "Oh, he's now put up a picture of Nell quite recently. That's cool. I like that." And that's it. They won't look at the others, because once they see that, oh, it's a very varied portfolio of everyone else, I'm not going to bother keep on looking, which is fine. So I'm now no longer, in a sense, chasing those numbers of likes anymore. I kind of look at the other profiles so if anytime Nell puts up a picture from, because we've shot on both sides of Food and Cosplay and my other brand page, if I can see those numbers of how many likes that's got, that's okay with me now. If I see there's high enough numbers, I'm okay. I can die happy. My page now, if it breaches 100 likes, I'll also be happy. But at the same token, like, they're so low now. The reach is so low. The likes are so low. Comments are like non-existent from time to time. I'm not going to beat myself over if I don't get the numbers anymore now.
I think at a certain point you have to say, like, how do I want to use it and what am I happy with? Because it's the one thing I think isn't sustainable is if you are just chasing the likes and then you have no other like outlet for it. The people I've seen do that, none of them are on social media anymore because they all got bored when it went stale because they had nothing else to like promote. So it's kind of like and I know what you mean with the photography one. I realised that people were coming to see them and themselves and their friends' faces much less. And I'm really lucky now that we've got a good little UK group of like photographers that all support each other, but it's far fewer the photographers coming to look at technique and stuff, which is kind of what I prefer it to be. So you kind of have to do a mix of like, oh, this is for the people that want to see their faces, and then this is for like the professionals that genuinely realise how much work goes in. But yeah,
100%. Now you've been a bit quiet. Are you still there?
No, it's like it's different for me because obviously I don't do photography, so my side is just purely based on me in these photos.
Do you find that quite stressful?
But
yeah. It's putting yourself on a pedestal all the time. You've got to look your best. You know, you can't have off days unless you're doing some kind of promotion of here's me on an off day, natural beauty, blah, 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 those kind of hashtags.
Yeah.
And then the most engagement you tend to see is when you're doing lingerie shoots or latex shoots. Those are the highest numbers, and it's very difficult not to want to go and chase those by doing those kind of shoots exclusively. But I want to do every kind of shoot. So they're just going to have to put up with it.
100%. I think that's the way to do it, though, is to say, I know this is what gets like a good amount of views, but this is what makes me happy. And I always used to say, like, if you've come to my page, you've just come to see whatever I post, so it's irrelevant what you want. Like, this is my page, and it is under my name because of like photography. So I'm like, this is my page, this is under my name, I'll post whatever I like, and you will either like it or you can leave.
Yep, sounds about right. Right. I'm going to stick with Nell on this one. Does social media affect you at all on a mental health level? And we were just talking about looking at the stats and things like that. You were just talking about how stressful it is just to maintain, in a sense, a high standard for yourself. I mean, does it affect you mental health wise?
Yeah, it's just that sort of chasing the dopamine hit of likes, and then you've got to keep in shape as well because there are probably skinnier, younger, prettier people doing better than you, so it's giving you a sense of body dysmorphia as well. And
Mm.
then that's not to mention some of the comments you get. Sometimes they can be degrading or outright rude, talking about your appearance, highly sexual. Someone should be put on a sex offenders register, that kind of sort of thing. You know, all of those things really get to you.
I feel like you're talking about me when you say that.
I can't, for legal reasons, confirm.
Oh my god. You heard it here first, folks.
Fucking hell, Jesus Christ. Oh, it's always me getting persecuted, isn't it? Jesus Christ. No, but I mean, we were talking about the comment section beforehand. Like, you literally do, like we said, like I said earlier, I get probably I always say about a percentage at most of what women get comment wise 24/7 on social media, and probably also in public as well. It's like, that must be a bit fear inducing as well.
Yeah, I must say, before this started, I told you about that fan fiction that I got of myself,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
what?
it,
Ew.
it wasn't exactly consensual either.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's the kind of thing I get, or I get dick pics of people who have got their wives and girlfriends in their profile pictures as well.
No.
What?
Yeah.
That's so grim. That is so grim. Oh god.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's like for every 10 nice comments you get, you'll get one that truly makes you want to go scrub yourself with bleach.
Yeah.
bleh. Oh, Jesus Christ. Before I bring Charlotte into this, I just want to bring up my little opinion on this, and I think it won't be a shock to anyone to hear that I find social media such a like a mental health like headache for me. It's like recently, I try not to look. I said I try not to look at the numbers anymore now. I try not to care. But you do end up just looking at the numbers, like how many likes and how far it's gone. But now, like Twitter is like now showing on your post how far the reach has gone, like
Oh yeah.
publicly now, and it's like,
Oh, God.
oh my god, I don't need this. I don't need this. Um, this literal anxiety measure practically that's online now. It's like saying, oh, it's only reached 10 people. No, god damn it, why? It's like, I hate it so much. It is so like anxiety driven, and oh god. But like at times it can be good because, like you said, when you get those nice comments of, oh my god, this is such a stunning photo. It's like, so recently I sent out everyone their photos from the recent EGX and Birmingham MCM event, because I was able to sit down over Christmas and just knock it all out.
Hmm.
And I got so much feedback from that to say, oh my god, Ed, these are really lovely photos. I love it. Thank you very much, and things like that. And yeah, it's nice to get that. So it can help my mental health, but there's also, I feel like sometimes it damages it more than it actually helps at times, because like you said, that and that when you get those like now we'll use that the perfect word it's dopamine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that when you get that like burst, you just all those comments, you think, oh, I've done something right. Oh, that's nice. And it's just a nice feel when you get to it. But yeah, I can't help but look at the stats at times, and like and the comment section is just a dumpster fire at times, just a dumpster fire, and oh god. Anyway, Charlotte, you go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. Hello. I was just making a note. Yeah, I think the main bit I get is like get kind of like I get FOMO as well, majorly. Like you see friends getting opportunities, or being invited to places that you would have loved to go to, and very often I will say like you do very similar stuff, and it's just the luck aspect that you have to remember that is the most annoying thing, because you can't measure luck and you can't prove it's luck, but it is just luck who gets picked for some of this stuff. And you're kind of like, could this not have been me? I've put in just as much work, And I find that quite difficult sometimes, because then you start thinking, like, would people remember me if, like, I'm like, there are some people I'd take with me if I got invited to certain stuff. Would they remember me if they got invited? Like, is this just, am I on a little island on my own? But also I get really jealous when people do like projects that I kind of had a similar idea for, but they do it slightly better, or they have a really good idea. I do get that like little creative jealousy twinge, where I'm like, I know I shouldn't feel jealous because they're a different person and they are entitled to do whatever they want. But past me is like, oh, I wish I'd just done that first, or like slightly better or slightly differently. And over the like, it does get quite depressing over the time, because when you're doing well, it's amazing, and when everything's like, you know, when you're getting all the likes, it feels incredible. You're like, I'm doing perfectly. And then, you know, like when I was doing gym earlier in the year, and I felt I looked great, and I was posting more, and everything was up. And now I've like, I stopped doing gym for a bit because I was so busy, and so I've stopped posting as much because I feel worse about how I look. And then like, obviously there's less people following me, and it's really hard to like differentiate the like, oh, is it because I look worse, or is it just because I'm posting less? So like Nell said, it's massively like you kind of have to be like on your top game all the time, and if you're not, I feel like I'm missing out on opportunity, and like time slipping by, and more people are going to come up and people will forget you, and I'm like, ugh. But apart from that, I love it, and it's great.
Yeah, it's that aging out thing as well that's really
Yeah.
starting to get to me.
Yeah, I've just noticed on my Twitter it says I'm 23. Let me just change that to 25.
What, you actually 32?
I am 32. No, I'm not.
I knew it!
Eddie, don't age me up on the internet. I'm a woman. My time is limited. Well, Eddie's actively trying to take me down, guys. He's a 40-year-old man.
I admit I'm 40, Jesus Christ. No, but that, again, that's the type of thing that also you probably get attacked for on social media for, like, I mean, it's in a serious matter, like, you don't want to be aged out. I just want to quickly go back to the comment section, because I think you were talking about being aged out and all that, but I think when people attack you like that, they attack you because they know there's quite a lot of anonymity online about it. There's a certain amount of it, and you just wouldn't do that in real life. Like 30 years ago when we didn't have social media, if you want to have a go at someone, you'd fucking know who it was.
Yeah.
But nowadays you can create an account, throw shade at someone, and then walk away. Like, they'll say they get their IP addresses and all that. I can think of like 3 or 4 different ways of how to change my IP address and things like that. So it wouldn't really bother me too much if it sounds like that I do this on a regular basis. I don't do this. I work in IT, so I know how to do certain things. But yeah, oh God, it's just, I wish people stop writing things like it will not be read. It will be read. Like, now, I'm sure you get notification for every comment that you get, either you post or you tagged into a post.
Yeah, I read all of them. I even go into the hidden message folder as well.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit of self-harm, really, if I'm honest. But sometimes you see the number and you think, what has someone done to get in that folder? Because there's usually keywords you can filter out.
Oh, yeah. It's a weird
never
one,
good.
actually, because like sometimes people message you and you're just like, what's wrong with you? And I got a lot of messages. I don't know if this is, I mean, I feel like this is relevant. I used to get a lot of messages when I was on TikTok of people being like, you'll never read this, and they're always like nice, like younger kids or whatever, because it was Jenny. But and they were like, oh, but I really like your stuff. However, I was like, and on TikTok I have 55,000 followers. I still get very few messages relating to TikTok at all. So I'm like, even though you think this person's being bombarded by messages morning and night, they're not. They will see every comment, every message, because I reckon until you've got like hundreds of thousands, when you couldn't keep up anymore, you can keep up with them all. So if you think your comment's going to get buried, it's not. They will see it.
100%. I was just telling Nell today on my other Brandon social media, this is one person. I won't put a gender behind this person, but you can guess what gender it is. This one person just literally comment dumped on every post. To be fair, they did vary it from comment to comment, but there was certain comments you went, you did copy and paste that one. Oh God, why did you copy and paste that one? Oh God, no. So it's just so I wish people just, like you said, Charlotte, unless you know they've got hundreds of them coming through, your comment will be read. Honest to God, it will. I do try to check every message. And there's some messages, some comments slip me by because I'm just like on the fence going, is that creepy? Or is it just weird? And things like that.
I think if you're a person listening to this, just stop.
Just stop.
Just stop. Please, all of you, stop.
Just stop.
Unless
Okay.
you're liking, commenting, subscribing, and hiring us, in which case, carry on.
One per podcast.
Thank you.
I'm surprised you've waited an hour to slip that in.
Well, I didn't want it to be like, oh, Eddie's talking about bullying people, hire me. Yeah, I'll pick my moments, Eddie.
Which is very good of you. Good.
No problem.
I think I've just since we've hit the hour mark, I'll try to bring this podcast to an end, and I'll start with Charlotte. Is social media, is it ruining us, or is there still benefit to have social media?
I don't think I would be as good at photography or like cosplay or modeling, any of that, as I am today. Not that I model, just to be clear. If I hadn't like got social media to learn off other people and to like creatively be inspired and have that push of like, oh, maybe I could do a bit better, to actually push me to do it, because I need that personally. Like, if there's no stakes, I just won't do it. So I kind of need the stakes in order to like create the stuff, and that does make me happy. So I think there are good uses to social media, but you have to be so strict with yourself, and I think you have to be so down to earth to be able to like use it properly. And even though I would call myself down to earth, obviously it's still upsetting sometimes, but I would say overall I find it quite positive for myself.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, what about you?
I do find some aspects of it have sort of pushed me to be a bit more confident, because like I say, I wasn't very popular when I was young, and I had a lot of eating problems, and those have sort of resolved themselves as I've gotten older. And like, I can stand in front of a crowd in not a lot and body paint, and I don't give a fudge anymore.
Love that.
About that sort of thing. That's really helped me sort of come out of my shell a bit. On the flip side of that, it is the sort of, I feel like I have to maintain me as I am, and I'm not allowed to sort of have a go at anyone, because I have to maintain this sort of sweet persona that I've given myself on the internet without meaning to. So it's become a little bit of a prison at times, but overall it has helped me a lot.
I want to say it's ruined me. I want to say that, but I think it's ruined me because I used to chase the numbers, perfection, and try to have that attention from everyone, from Billy Bob No One. And it's only occurred to me recently. It's like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing it for them? I don't need that. I want the people who I work with to have the success from my photos, because if they succeed, then by proxy I succeed. So it's no longer now me trying to get the numbers for my Instagram, for my photos. Now I post food pictures, I only get about 20 likes now, which is fine. That's I know what the the meme number is. Is it the meme?
Mean? Like
mean?
The average?
Yeah, the average.
Yeah.
The average mean, or just an average?
I don't know.
Average. I think just an average. But yeah, but like, don't get me wrong. Should I become a, oh God, I was almost used the word influencer. God, I don't want to become one of those. Jesus Christ. But if I became famous through my work, don't get me wrong, I'll fucking take that.
Yeah.
But at the same tokens, like, but I've always said this is a hobby for me. This is not me trying to be famous, to be the next. I don't want to say this in a negative term, but I don't want to be the next Jessica Negri in the photographing world or anything like that. Or oh God, what's her name? Yo-Yo Han. Jesus Christ, that was stretching there. Fucking hell. But yeah, that's not. Yeah, I don't want to be like that. God, I wouldn't want the. Oh God, I would hate the attention as well. that would actually just really ruin my mental health that way.
You just want to be like respected for your corner and like what you do, basically.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah, and
Known but not too known.
yeah. Oh god, that is literally my stance. I want to be known, but I'll tell you this story. So I was at a works do, and we have like a lot of turnover, but I'm trying to like. Oh god, I've really got to explain it. Right, so I work at school, and we obviously have changing students, and we had a get together with all the students that came by, past and present. No, just past. And I just thought, oh, it'd be really. I did a conjure. I went, oh my god, I hope they remember me. Oh my god, I really do hope they remember me. And then I flipped 2 seconds. I go, oh my god, I don't want everyone to know me. Oh Jesus Christ, I don't want everyone to come near me and talk to me. Like I just sort of flip flop. And I'm sure my colleagues looked at me and, what the fuck is going on with Eddie? Jesus Christ!
Like you're in the corner, like I want to be popular, but like not that popular. Eddie's that bitch, ladies and gentlemen.
I am that. I'm that basic bitch,
and I love it.
Just before we end the podcast, I'll start with, who did I start with before? I'll start with Nell this time, and I just want one quick advice about if you could share how you use social media, and you could tell others about it. What would be that advice be?
Do it for yourself. The second you start doing it for others, you lose a lot of your own self to it. So just post what you want. If you get nasty comments, delete them straight away. There's no point engaging. Just get rid of them. Block them.
Fantastic.
Just curate your own experience for you.
Amazing. Fantastic. Charlotte, what about yourself?
Pretty similar, but like your name's the one at the top of the page. So you post what you want because it's your page, and people can either follow you or if they like the stuff, and if they don't like the stuff, they won't follow you, and that's literally the way it should be. But yeah, so just like post whatever you're happy and proud of, and not what you think you should be doing, because that won't get you anywhere.
Excellent. I would probably say, don't compare yourself to others. Just because they're having success doesn't mean you will have the exact success. Try not to copy their exact thing, literally like for like. Sorry for the pun.
Jesus,
I know that wasn't intentional, but if it helps. But I think I'm sure I've fallen in this trap that I've copied someone else's work. Like I've seen this video and I'll do that video, because I'm sure the compilation videos I started doing on TikTok, I'm sure I wasn't the originator of that. But
no, loads of people do them though.
Yeah. But I've now noticed them more now, and I don't know if it's because I don't want to sound too egotistical to say it's because I started it.
Is it me? Am I the drama?
Am I that popular? No, but I get that people have been doing it for many months now. But I'd like deep in my mind think, oh, I'm the originator of this idea. No, Eddie, it's not. Eddie, shut up. But like I said, just like the other two, my
Put your teeth back in. Come on.
Thank you. Like my guests have said, do it for yourself, not for others. And if you do, don't compare your work, your page to others, because you will just end up competing with yourself, which is not, in my eyes, not healthy. So that's what I would say. Thank you very much, ladies. Ladies? Yes, ladies. Yes, yeah, females.
Well, I'd like to think we are.
Yeah.
This isn't Star Trek.
I don't know. I'm trying to make sure pronouns are done correctly, and I'm not offending anyone. Thank you for discussing this. I hope we've got through this and we've all done some liberation of like demons about social medias and things like that. Charlotte, where can they find you on the social medias?
Where can you find?
Where can they find you? Yeah, where on the social medias, on the internet?
I can be found on TikTok at Charlotte Woolrich. Woolrich is spelled WOOLRYCH. So TikTok, Instagram at Charlotte Woolrich _photography or Charlotte Woolrich _cosplays. On Twitter, I am at CX Woolrich Photo. Thank you. I've had it up the whole time just in case. I've got a photography website, www.charlottewoolrichphotography.com, and yeah, I'm generally the same everywhere. If you want to come find me,
But there must be hundreds of other Charlotte Warwichs in the world, right?
I'm the only one.
You always, I
I'm
made
the
you.
only one. So
I made you say it this time around, but you always seem to put it into every other podcast.
well,
And the-
it's just useful. I'm like, if it's under that name, it is me. Hello. Not to mention, I do self-portraits, so my face will be staring at you from every like option.
That's why I had to block you. I'm joking. I haven't. Now, where can they find you on the social medias?
On the World Wide Webs, I am.
Oh my god!
On Instagram, it's at sugarfox with a H, not an R. Are you going to say it one more time, Eddie?
Sugar!
On Facebook, I am still Foxybot-Cosplay because they won't let me change it.
Amazing.
And TikTok, Foxybot, although I don't really use it that much.
Fucking hell. We just spent a whole hour talking about social media. And you just, I don't fucking use it. Jesus Christ.
Look, TikTok's a lot of effort.
It really fucking is. Jesus Christ.
Have to be like a videographer as well as a model.
You have no idea.
I'm not gonna lie, I find TikTok so much easier because I don't have to fucking edit anything. I'm like, you film the video, and either it's a good video or you delete it. But there's no like, let me put this into Lightroom, then Photoshop, then capture one, then export it. Nope, done.
I don't know.
Quality content.
Yeah. Oh. If anyone needs to find me on the social medias, if you go to foodandcosplay.org/links, you'll find all my social media links, such as Instagram, Facebook, and all the others. I am actually on Hotshot Social. I don't know how I'm going to link it across because you can't actually get a link to it, I don't think. What else was I going to say? If you go to foodandcosplay.org, generally, you'll find daily cosplay photos as well as articles I put up online. If you go to foodandcosplay.org/podcast, you'll find all the other podcasts I've recorded with Charlotte and hopefully future episodes with Nell. Depends how much she enjoyed her time today. Go to what else do I usually say? Patreon. If you go to Patreon and give me monies to help produce these, I'd be most appreciative. I just had to renew the Food and Cosplay website, which cost me 400 quid.
Ouch.
I was crying over Christmas going, why? So I need to do some more. So as Charlotte would say, hire me, because I am actually going to do some more fucking locations and charging people for it.
Yeah. This year you're all getting charged. Get used to it.
Fuck yeah. Hey, remember that photographer last year who charged 50 quid for 10-minute work? That's me.
Us now.
That's going to be me now. Yeah. Fucking hell.
50 quid, cost of living crisis. It's £50 a minute. Go.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Food and cosplay.
Fuck.
Please send us free stuff. We love it.
Oh, God. Can you imagine? I just quickly add the tea in.
Oh, my God.
So when did this come in? Budgeting, man. Budgeting. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, on that note, before I lose all sense of, like, humility and what's the word? Pride? Dignity, that's the word. Dignity. I'm going to end the podcast. Charlotte, thank you very much for being on. Not a problem. Nell, thank you very much for being on here. Jesus Christ.
Thanks for having me.
Oh,
Wait,
God,
that sounds wrong.
Oh, God. Oh, God. On that note, I'm going to end the podcast. So they're going to say goodbye, and I'm going to say goodbye. So, bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Jesus.